outside into the temple of God. There's a time and there's a place. He didn't say that you shouldn't be selling merchandise. This is probably how a lot of them made their living, right? But it should not be happening in this space. It should not be happening here. So many times in our lives, we tend to bring things from the outside into the house of God. Think about it. We all have jobs that are obviously not in this building, right? We have people that we work with, relationships, family members, things that we do that are not inside this particular building. And there are times when we have to be maybe a little more careful, a little more cautious, a little more, have to have our walls up. But when we come into the house of God, we shouldn't have those concerns. I shouldn't be concerned about someone hustling me in the house of God. I'm just saying. I should not be concerned about someone scamming me in the house of God. I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to worry about someone making judgments about me in the house of God. Like we come here because it's the house of God. We come here because this is where we should be able to be authentically ourselves. So I don't come here for people to say, look at, to talk about what I'm wearing or for any other reason, right? I come here because this is a place where I should be able to let all of those walls down. I should be able to be with people who are like-minded. I should be able to be around people who only want what's good for me, who only wants to celebrate with me, who only wants to cry if I'm crying and laugh if I'm laughing. That's why I enter into the house of God. I don't enter into the house of God for any otherwise, I could have been anywhere today. I don't know about you all. There's a lot of places. I'm thinking any of us could have been this morning. I don't know about anybody else in here, but I can give you a list of places I could have been this morning. But I made the choice to be here with people who love me, who care about me, who are going to give me grace when I need grace, who are going to hold me up when I need to be held up, who are going to support me. But unfortunately, oftentimes, when we go into the house of God, we bring all the stuff that's out there in here. All that stuff. And then we wonder why people don't want to come. I'm not shocked. Doesn't surprise me. Right? You deal with all this negativity and all this stuff outside, and then you come to the house of God and you got to hear more of it. Who wants to sign up for that? Who wants to sign up for that? Right? We deal with all these things outside, and people are hurtful and harmful, and they're bitter, and everyone's cranky, and there's division. And then you walk that right into the temple of God. You walk that right into the house of God. And then we wonder why people don't want to be here. I love to talk to young people, because young people will tell you why you don't go to church. They will tell you. And they can give you a list of reasons why. And none of them are usually false, honestly. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Everything they're describing are people who have taken what's out there and brought it into the house of God. Galatians 6:10 tells us that we should be especially kind to those in the household of faith. So it's not that you shouldn't be kind to those outside, but we should be especially kind to those in the household of faith. We should go above and beyond to be kind to the people who walk through these doors. We should go above and beyond for the people who walk through these doors. That's why we're the church. That's why we're here. We're here to love on people, a love that maybe other people outside of the scriptures she read earlier don't understand. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to try and figure it out. But that's how much we should be different on the inside. We can't live outside like we live in here. We just can't. Because when you go to work, they don't really care about God. Shocking. I don't go to work to preach. I don't go to work to share all the time. If the door opens, I will, but that's not how I go to work. I go to work to get a paycheck. I'm just saying. I go to work for an exchange of money. I don't come here for that reason. I come here for different reasons. I come here because I love being here. I come here because I love the people here. I come here because wounded come through the door, and I want to be a part of healing those wounds. I don't want to create more wounds. I don't want to create more wounds. I want to be a part of the restoration. I don't want to tear down. I want to build up. That's why I am here. That's why I'm here and I'm not at Perkins right now. Just saying. That's why. Because I want to be a part of what God is doing in the lives of the people that come through that door. We should all want to be a part of what God is doing in every life that comes through the door. It's shameful if we're not. It's sad if we're not. If we're coming through that door trying to figure out who all is here, who didn't make it, you came for the wrong reason. If you're here to see who's wearing jeans and who's not, you came for the wrong reason. Right? We're here for one reason only, to have zeal in the house of God. Biblically, the word zeal means to have a burning desire to please God and to do his will. That's what zeal is. To have a burning desire, not just a desire, not just maybe today, maybe not tomorrow. A burning desire. A burning desire. A burning desire. To learn about God and to do his will. And then when we get that burning desire, then the us that comes here, it can impact the out there. See, that's how this works. See what happens in here, it should give us so much joy, so much love, so much peace, that we get to take that out into the world until the next time we come together. We should never leave this place the same way we came. We should leave encouraged. We should leave uplifted. We should leave feeling more love. So much love that when Wednesday comes, I'm looking forward to Sunday. Because they have beat me up out there. They have beat me up, they beat me down, they beat me around. And now I can't wait to get back to the house of God, where I can be made whole. Where I can be around people who care about me and people who love me. And then in turn, I take that back out into a world that is hurting. A world that's hurting. A world that is dying. This gives me energy to do that. So I was 18 years old, Melvin was 19, and we had been seeing each other for a while. And I woke up this particular morning, and I said, there's this pastor, he keeps inviting me to his church, and I really want to get him off my back. So we can just go to this church this one day, so that I can have him not ask me when I go back to work, because I didn't work with him. To go to his church, I would really like for you to come with me because I really don't want to go. So Melvin, being the guy that he is, like, yeah, I'll go to church with you. So I said, okay, we get up that morning, we get ready, and at this point, we had this thing that we did every Sunday. Every Sunday. We'd get up on a Sunday morning, we'd have a little something to eat, and then we travel from Virginia to Maryland, which is basically a bridge. We go over the bridge. And we buy a ton of alcohol, and we bring it back home, and that was pretty much the rest of the day. That was our Sunday at that point. That's what we did. And we had to go to Maryland because they didn't sell alcohol on Sunday in Virginia. So you had to work for it. And you had to be determined to get alcohol back there. And so we did this every Sunday. It wasn't a big deal, right? This is just what we did. But this particular Sunday, we decided that we were going to go to church. So we go to church, and it's not a fancy church. The church is actually set up in someone's garage. There's maybe, 15 chairs. Not a big church at all. We pull up to a house, and the garage is open, and there are chairs, and there's a pulpit, and I'm like, wow, all right, it's church. We go, and we get in, and everyone's pretty nice. We sit down. And we're just listening to the songs and stuff. I'm clapping, I don't act like I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. I want people to see that I don't want to be there. So I'm clapping and I'm trying to sing along and stuff. And prayer time comes. And they ask if anyone wants prayer to come on up. So I don't want prayer. I don't want to be here. So I really don't want prayer. I just want to be in the back, sit back here. If you're not even notice me, amongst these 15 chairs. Just sit. And Melvin sit next to me. Prayer time comes, and Melvin just pops right up. He wants to go up for prayer. And I'm still chill. Okay, go ahead, go get your prayer on. That's all right. I'll sit right here. I'll be right here when you get back. You go right ahead. He goes up, he gets prayer. It was just prayer. It wasn't anything magnificent. I don't remember seeing lightning come down, or I didn't hear a voice saying, "This is my son," and you want to go. None of that. None of that happened. He went up there, he got prayer, he sat down. I said, okay, it's all good. Service continues on. We finish, It was a very long service. Oh my God, very long service. But I sat through the whole day. I should get A for this day. Sat through the whole day, and we leave. We get into the car, and I'm driving, and I start driving to Maryland, because that's what we do. It's Sunday. And we're on our way there, and Melvin says, well, where are we going? And I'm like, we're going to Maryland. Like, that's what we do. And Melvin says, oh no, we can't do that. And I'm like, why? Like, the car's going that direction, I'm driving, I think we can't. Like, that's what we're doing. He's like, no. We can't do that. See, I just got saved. And I said, for real? I'm like, saved for real? Like I don't need more words. Because I'm still driving. What do you mean? Saved for real. What does that mean? And he began to say, that, God really touched him. While he was up there for that 2 seconds, right? I cannot conceive of this, back to wisdom, right? I cannot conceive of this man totally changing his life in a matter of a walk, a stop, and a walk back. But it did. It did. It totally changed his life. From that moment, he was never the same. To this day, he was never the same. I tell people that we're all light bulbs, right? And some of us take one turn. He took he didn't take a turn. I think he was so ready when he got up there that it didn't take much at all for that light to come on. Nothing. He was ready when he got there. He was probably ready when he got dressed that morning. That he knew that something was going to happen. And it did for him, because he came expecting something to happen. I came not expecting anything to happen because I didn't want to be there. So I'm not that light bulb. I'm the light bulb that took a whole lot of turns, whole lot of backside, whole lot of coming back, I took a whole lot of detours. He's just like, I'm it, this is it. But the experience that he had inside that building, everything else, he left at the door. And because he left it at the door, God met him on the inside. I brought outside with me. I'm like, we better hurry up because the liquor store about to close. He up there getting prayer. How long is this going to take? I brought outside with me. He left outside at the door. And God met him there. It's our job as Christians, as part of this family, to make sure that when people walk through the door, that God meets them here. That's our only job. That's it. To leave everything else at the door. The you does not matter when you come in here. And here it's the us. It's the we. The I is to stay out there. That's how we lift him up, so that he will draw all men unto himself. So as we go out throughout the rest of this week, think about all the things that you go through throughout the week that don't belong in the house of God. And here's the kicker, which, I'm just saying. The house of God doesn't necessarily need to be this building, right? The Bible tells us where 2 or 3 are gathered, there he was in the midst. So if if you're in a house with 2 or 3 people that are there, that is now your temple. That is now your house of God. Keep outside. Keep outside. Even if it's in your house. I'm very funny about coming to my house. It's so sad. Because I want my house to always be a sanctuary. I used to have we couldn't even fight in my house. And so every argument we have is in a car. In a car. I don't want to come into this room and remember you angry. I don't want to come into this room and remember that fight. I don't want to come into this room and remember anything. If it's going to get heated, we need to get a car. I can buy a new car and have many times. I can buy a new car. I can't buy a new house. So we need to be very protected over what comes into our sanctuaries, into our temples, which a lot of times is also in our homes. Think about it. You ever been in a house where you go, I don't know, I had some experiences as a child, not very positive, but when you go back to those places, it takes you right back there. So that's why I didn't want my